Hello everyone, my name is RENEE and today I'm going to show you one of my favorite authors' book. Roald Dahl, The Enormous Crocodile. First, I had to say something. A book's title, which is if it's smaller than the author's name, that means the author's more famous. And Roald Dahl is a very famous author. Illustrated by Cletham Blake, which is Roald Dahl's favorite author. Let's read. The enormous crocodile is planning what to have for his lunch. This full-fledged, the greediest croc in the whole river wants to eat something juicy and delicious. His teeth sparkle like knives in the sun, and he's getting hungrier and hungrier. But what can the greedy, grumpiest brute guzzle up? Beware, he's looking for someone that looks like you. What do you think it can be? In the biggest, browniest, muddiest river in Africa, two crocodiles lay with their heads just above the water. One of the crocodiles was enormous, and the other one was not so big. Do you know what I would like for my lunch today? Says the enormous crocodile asks. No, said the not so one said. What? The enormous crocodile grinned. Oh my gosh, grinning, showing hundreds of sharp white teeth. For my lunch today, he said, I would like a nice juicy little child. Oh my gosh, a child. I never eat children, the not-so-big one said. Only fish. Ho, 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 cried the enormous crocodile. I bet if you saw a fat, juicy little child paddling in the water over there at this very moment, you would gulp him up in one gulp. Isn't that crazy? Gulping up children? No, I wouldn't, the not-so-big one said. Children are too tough and chewy. They are tough and chewy and nasty and bitter. Tough and chewy? Cried the enormous crocodile. Nasty and bitter? What an awful Tommy rot you talk. They're juicy and yummy. They taste so bitter, the not-so-big one said. You have to cover them with sugar before you can eat them. Covering them with sugar? Oh my goodness. It won't be like to be covered in sugar to be eaten. Children are bigger than fish, said the enormous crocodile. You get bigger helpings. Oh my gosh. Does fish taste better or children taste better? I bet you would choose fish. You are greedy, the not-so-big one said. You're the greediest croc in the whole river. I'm the bravest croc in the whole river, the enormous crocodile said. I'm the only one who dares to leave the water and go through the jungle to the town to look for little children to eat. Oh my gosh. You only done that once, snorted the not-so-big one. And what happened then? They all saw you coming and ran away. Ah, but today when I go, they won't see me at all, said the enormous crocodile. Of course they'll see you, the not-so-big one said. You're so enormous and ugly. They'll see you from miles away. The enormous crocodile grinned again, and his terrible sharp teeth sparkled like knives in the sun. Nobody will see me, he said. because this time I thought of secret plans and tricks. Clever tricks. Clever tricks? Cried the not-so-big one. You never done anything clever in your life. You're the stupidest croc in the whole river. I'm the cleverest croc on the whole river, said the enormous crocodile. Answered, for my lunch today I shall feast upon a fat juicy child while you lie here in the river feeling hungry. Goodbye. Oh my, look at the picture. He looks so ugly. How can children come not seeing him? The enormous crocodile swam to the side of the river and crawled out of the water. A gigantic creature was standing in the slimy, oozy mud on the riverbank. It was Humpy Rumpy the hippopotamus. Hello, hello, said Humpy Rumpy. What on earth are you off to do at this time of the day? What do you think? What will you do at this time of the day? I have secret plans and clever tricks, said the crocodile. Oh dear, said Humpy Rumpy. I bet you're going to do something horrid. The enormous crocodile grinned at Humpy Rumpy and said, I'm going to fill up my hungry empty tummy with something yummy, 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 yummy. What's so yummy? Asked Humpy Rumpy. Try to guess, said the crocodile. It's something that walks on two legs. Oh my gosh. You don't mean, said Humpy Rumpy, you don't really mean you're gonna eat a little child? Of course I am, said the crocodile. Oh, you horrid, greedy, grumpiest brute, cried Humpy Rumpy. I hope you got caught and cooked and turned into crocodile soup. The enormous crocodile laughed out loud at Humpy Rumpy, and then he waddled off into the jungle. Oh my gosh! Cooked into crocodile soup. That deserves him. Inside the jungle, he met Trunky the elephant. Trunky was nibbling leaves from top of a tall tree, and he didn't notice the crocodile at first. So Crocodile bit him on the leg. Ow, said Trunky in his deep voice. Who did that? Oh, it's you. It's you, you beastly crocodile. Why don't you go back into the big brown muddy river where you belong? I had secret plans and clever tricks. You mean you have nasty plans and nasty tricks, says Trunky. You never done a nice thing in your life. Oh my gosh, think of that. How bad can the crocodile be? The enormous crocodile grinned up at Trunky and said, I'm going off to find the yummy children for lunch. Keep listening and you'll hear the bones go crunch. Oh my goodness! Oh, you wicked, beastly beast, cried Trunky. Oh, you full-filthy fiend. I hope you get squashed and squeaked and squizzled and boiled up into crocodile stew. The enormous crocodile laughed out loud and disappeared into the thick jungle. How evil he was to bite someone on the leg. It hurt so much. A bit farther on, he met Muggle-Wump the monkey. Muggle-Wump was sitting in a tree eating nuts. Hello, Crocky, said Muggle-Wump. What are you up to now? I have secret plans and clever tricks. Would you like some nuts? Asked Muggle-Wump. I had better things to eat than nuts. What do you think is better than nuts? Aha, I don't think there was anything better than nuts, said Mugglewump. Aha, said the enormous crocodile. The sorts of things I'm going to eat have fingers, toenails, arms, legs, and feet. Oh my gosh! Mugglewump went pale and began to shake all over. You aren't really going to gobble up a little child, are you? Of course I am, said the crocodile, clothes and all. They taste better with clothes on. Wow. Do you want to get eaten alive with your clothes on? No. Oh, you horrid, hoggish croc, cried Mugglewump. You slimy creature. I hope the buttons and buckles all stuck in your throat and choke you to death. The crocodile grinned up at Mugglewump and says, I eat monkeys too. And as quick as a flash, with one bite of his huge jaws, he bit through the tree that Mugglewump was sitting on. Down it came. But just in time, Mugglewump jumped into the next tree and swung away through the branches. That's fascinating, isn't it? A bit farther on, the enormous crocodile met the roly-poly bird. The roly-poly bird was building a nest in an orange tree. Hello there, enormous crocodile, sang the roly-poly bird. We don't often see you up here in the jungle. Ah, said the crocodile. I had secret plans and clever tricks. I hope it's not something nasty, sang the roly-poly bird. Nasty? Cried the crocodile. Of course it's not nasty. It's delicious. Look at the song. It's delicious as supper, it's as mushes as dupper. It's better than rotten old fish. You mash it and munch it, you chew it and crunch it. It's lovely to hear it go squish. It must be berries, sang the roly-poly birds. Berries are my favorite food in the world. Is raspberry perhaps? Or could it be strawberries? Let's look at the picture then. Tell me, isn't he quite evil? Oh my goodness me! The enormous crocodile laughed so much his teeth rattled together like pennies in a money box. Crocodiles don't eat berries, he said. We eat little girls and boys, and sometimes we eat roly-poly birds as well. Very quickly, the crocodile reached up and snapped his jaws at the roly-poly bird. He just missed the bird, but he managed to catch hold of the long, beautiful feathers in his tail. The roly-poly bird gave a shriek of terror and shot straight up into the air, leaving its tail feathers behind in the enormous crocodile's mouth. Evil and cute crocodiles, isn't it? At last, the enormous crocodile came out of the other side of the jungle into the sunshine. He could see the town not far away. Ho ho, he said, talking aloud to himself. Ha ha, that walk through the jungle has made me hungrier than ever. One child isn't going to be nearly enough for me today. I won't be full off until I eat at least 3 juicy little children. He started to creep forward towards the town. Now, I had to discuss that. Do you think he's a good crocodile now? Probably you would say no. But how about this? Eating children. I know how he will feel. The enormous crocodile crept over a place where there was a lot of coconut trees. He knew the children from town often came here looking for coconuts. The trees are too tall for them to climb, but there's always some coconuts that on the ground that have fallen down. Whoa! The enormous crocodile quickly collected all the coconuts that were lying on the ground. He also gathered several fallen branches. Now for clever trick number 1. He whispered to himself, "It won't be long before I'm eating the first part of my lunch." Whoa, what do you think about that? He took all the coconut branches and held them between his teeth. He grasped the coconuts in his front paws, and he stood straight up in the air, balancing himself on the tail. That's a really talented crocodile, isn't it? He arranged the branches and the coconuts so cleverly that he now looked exactly like a small coconut tree standing among the big coconut trees. Look at that. Soon, 2 children came along. They were brother and sister. The boy was called Toto. His sister was called Mary. They walked around looking for fallen coconuts, but they couldn't find any because the enormous crocodile has gathered them all up. "Oh, look," said Toto. "The tree over there is much smaller than the others, and it's full of coconuts. I think I could climb up that one easily. Quite. If you help me up with the first bit." Toto and Mary ran toward where they thought it was a small coconut tree. The enormous crocodile peered through the branches, watching them as they came closer and closer. He licked his lips. He began to dribble with excitement. What do you think will happen? There we go. Suddenly, there was a tremendous whooshing noise. It was Humpy Rumpy the hippopotamus. He came crushing and snorting out of the jungle. His head was down low, and he was galloping at a terrific speed. "Look out, Toto!" shouted Humpy Rumpy. "Look out, Mary! This is not a coconut tree. It's an enormous crocodile, and he wants to eat you up!" Humpy Rumpy charged straight at the enormous crocodile. He caught him with his giant head and sent him tumbling and skidding over the ground. "Ow-wee!" cried the crocodile. "Help! Stop! Where am I?" Toto and Mary ran back to town as fast as they could. Phew, that was a quick save of the children, isn't it? Thanks to Humpy Rumpy. But crocodiles are tough. It was even difficult for a hippopotamus to hurt them. The enormous crocodile picked himself up and crept toward a place where the children playground are. Now for clever trick number 2, he said to himself. This one is certain to work. There were no children in the playground at the moment. They were all in school. The enormous crocodile found a large piece of wood and placed it in the middle of the playground. Then he lay across the piece of wood and tucked in his feet so he looked exactly like a seesaw. Oh my gosh! When school's over, the children came all running onto the playground. "Oh, look!" they cried. "We all got a new seesaw." They all crowded around, shouting with excitement. "Thanks, I have the first go. I'll get on the other end. I want to go first." "So do I, so do I." Then a girl who's older than the others said, "It was rather a funny, knobbly sort of seesaw, isn't it? Do you think it will be safe to sit on?" Of course it will, the other said. It looks as strong as anything. Oh no! Snap! The enormous crocodile opened his eye just a tiny bit and watched the children who were crowding over him. Soon, he thought, one of them is going to sit on my head, then I'll give it a jerk and snap. After that, it will be yum, yum, yum. Oh my goodness me! At the moment, there was a flash of brown and something jumped into the playground and hopped on top of the swing. It was Muggle-Wump the monkey. Run! said Muggle-Wump shouted to the children. All of you, run, run, run! It's not a seesaw, it's the enormous crocodile and he wants to eat you. Up! The children screamed and ran for their lives. Muggle-Wump disappeared back into the jungle, and the enormous crocodile was left all alone in the playground. Oh my, thanks to Muggle-Wump, that's a quick save! He cursed the monkey and waddled back into the bush to hide. I'm getting hungrier and hungrier, he said. I shall have to eat at least 4 children now before I'm full up. The enormous crocodile crept along the edge of the town, taking great care not to be seen. He came to a place where they were getting ready to have a fair. There were slides and swing and dodgement cars, and people are selling popcorn and candy floss. There's also a big roundabout. Do you like roundabouts? The roundabout has marvelous wooden creatures for children to ride on. There were white horses and lions and tigers and mermaids with fishes' tails, and fearsome dragons with red tongues sticking out of their mouths. Now for clever trick number 3, said the enormous crocodile, licking his lips. When no one was looking, he crept up to the roundabout and put himself between the wooden lion and the fearsome dragon. He sat up a bit on his back legs, and he kept very still. Oh my gosh, look at the picture. Soon, all sorts of children are flocking into the fair. Several of them ran towards the roundabout. They were very excited. I'm going to ride on the dragon, cried one. I'm going on a lovely white horse, cried another. I'm going on a lion, cried the third one. One little girl, whose name was Jill, said, I'm going to ride on that funny old wooden crocodile. The enormous crocodile kept very still, but he could still see the little girl coming towards him. Yum, 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 he thought. I'm going to gulp her easily in one gulp. Look at that. Look at this. He's really ruining the day for everyone. Suddenly there was a swish and a swoosh, and something came swishing and swooshing out of the sky. It was the roly-poly bird. He flew around and around the roundabout singing, Look out, Jill! Look out! Look out! Don't ride on that crocodile! Jill stopped and looked up. It's not a wooden crocodile, sang the roly-poly bird. It's a real one. It's the enormous crocodile from the river, and he wants to eat you up. Jill turned and ran. So did all the children. Even the man who was working the roundabout jumped off it and ran away as fast as he could. The enormous crocodile cursed the roly-poly bird and waddled back into the bushes to hide. I'm so hungry now, he said to himself. I could eat 6 children before I'm full up. Oh my gosh, not so good looking. Just outside the town, there was a pretty little field with trees and bushes all around it. This was called the picnic place. There were several wooden tables and long benches, and people were allowed to go there and have a picnic at any time. The enormous crocodile crept over to the picnic place. There was no one in sight. Now for the clever trick number 4, he whispered to himself. He picked a bunch of lovely flowers and arranged it onto one of the tables. From the same table, he took one of the benches and hid it in the bushes. Then he put himself in place where the bench has been by tucking his head under his chest and by twisting his tail out of sight. He made himself look very like a wooden bench with 4 legs. Soon, 2 boys and 2 girls came along carrying baskets of food. They were all from one family. Their mother had said they could go out and have a picnic together. Which table shall we sit at? Said one. Let's take the table with the lovely flowers on it, said the other. The enormous crocodile clapped as quiet as a mouse. I shall eat them all, he said to himself. Come and sit on my back, and I'll squizzle my head around quickly. After that, it will be squish, crunch, gollop. Crazy mad crocodile. Look at the pictures. Suddenly, a deep voice from the jungle shouted, Stand back, children, stand back. The children stopped and stared at the place where the voice was coming from. Suddenly, a crashing of branches. Trunky the elephant came rushing out of the jungle. That's not a bench you're gonna sit on, he bellowed. It's an enormous crocodile and he wants to eat you all up. Trunky trotted to a spot where the enormous crocodile was standing. As quick as a flash, he wrapped his trunk around the crocodile's tail and hoisted him up into the air. Let me go! Hey! Yelled the enormous crocodile, who was now dangling upside down. Let me go! Let me go! No, said the Trunky said. I will not let you go. We all have quite enough of your clever tricks. Do you think he expected that? Well, let's continue to read. Trunky began to swing the crocodile around and around in the air. At first he swung him slowly. Then he swung him faster and faster and faster and faster still. Oh my goodness, he looked as if he had a flower blooming around. Soon the enormous crocodile was just a blurry circle going around Trunky's head. The children still watching though. Suddenly, Trunky let go of Crocodile's tail, and the crocodile went shooting high up into the sky like a huge green rocket. Up and up he went, higher and higher, faster and faster. He was going so fast and so high that soon the earth below was just a tiny dot miles below. Oh my gosh! This is him! He was on and on. He was far into space. He was past the moon. He was past the stars and planet until at last, with the most tremendous bang, The enormous crocodile crashed headfirst into the hot, hot sun, and he was sizzled up like a sausage. So, how do you think about this book? Great? Or just so-so? Roald Dahl is actually very famous. You should read more of his books. This is the most thin book Roald Dahl ever wrote. That's why I shared it. Thank you for watching.